Good morning, class 8, and a very, very warm welcome. So, you all are, you all have come back with, of course, a little bit of energy. Though I know till Kali Puja, you people are in a festive mood, and till Kali Puja, everybody's mind is, in all the festivities, good food, and everything that's going on. And now the World Cup matches are also going on. I saw your message. Yes, I know that India-Pakistan match was a disaster. What can we talk about that? But we need to do a little bit of studies also here. Not finals a disaster like that. We need to make sure that our finals doesn't turn out to your final exams, if you have it, doesn't turn out to be a disaster. For which we are going to go ahead with the topic that we started. Okay. So one thing, there is something that I would like to say. Download the study material. After I teach a little bit more, I'll give you a homework for which you have the full month of November to do it. Okay, this is a homework project for which you have the full month of November to do it. So there is no, I'm not pressurizing you, do it, but I'll tell you what you have to do. And I'll upload the plan just maybe next week. I'll definitely upload the plan by next week. All the instructions will be available there, which you can read anytime. Now, last day we started with the topic atmospheric pressure belts and winds. So everyone downloaded the study material? Everyone? Okay, because for this you are not any chapter in your book. This is not a chapter from the book. This you are doing as a study material. Now, last day, what we all studied, what we all learned was that with altitude, first thing that we learned was, let me share the whiteboard. It will be easier. Okay, so number one we learned was with altitude, atmospheric pressure.
Ma'am, if altitude increases, then the pressure decreases.
Absolutely.
Yeah, inversely related.
Pressure decreases. Okay. Now there is one more reason why with altitude pressure decreases. We were discussing temperature. Okay. Temperature increases, pressure decreases, and vice versa. So temperature and pressure are inversely related. I was explaining this to you as class 7's part, but we were doing it once again. That what is there to remember from this part? What is the most important thing that you need to remember from this part? That is temperature and pressure are inversely related. Why? Why is it inversely related? The reason being that when something is hot, what happens is the heat energy makes the molecules move faster, and due to this faster movement, many times the molecules get more scattered. They spread away. They spread across. When they spread across, the density means the weight, the density. Okay, the density of the material, it becomes what? Less. So, because density becomes less, what happens is that the pressure also decreases. So, with temperature, number one, what is happening? Let's take one example, temperature increases, for which the next thing that we see that is happening is, the molecules, the heat energy makes the molecules scatter. Molecules move faster and they get more scattered. Okay, the heat energy makes the molecules scatter, means spread across. Scatter means it makes it spread across. Now for this, what happens? The density of the thing, whatever, whether it is a solid, liquid, or whatever we are talking about. So the density, because the molecules are getting scattered, density decreases. Because the density decreases, for that same reason, for that, see, it gets stuck sometimes. Because density decreases, for that what we are seeing, pressure drops or pressure falls. Is this much clear to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
The situation is the opposite. The situation is just the opposite. That is, temperature decreases, then pressure will become what?
Ma'am, pressure will increase.
Good. If temperature increases, if this is happening, when temperature falls, when temperature decreases, the situation becomes this, that the density of the molecules tends to come closer. If you see, if you keep a bottle of water in a deep freezer, okay, from normal room temperature to the freezer, what happens? Due to decrease in temperature, the molecules of the water, they come closer, they shrink, it shrinks. That is why we say hot things expand, because molecules are spreading across, but cold things contract. They shrink, they tend to come closer. When they tend to come closer, the density they will become heavier. The density will increase. And when the density increases, automatically pressure will increase. Right? So when temperature increases, pressure decreases. When temperature decreases, pressure increases. This part is clear to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
In revision, okay? So when this part is clear, so one is altitude. Yes, so this is again, if you relate it with altitude, you can find this. You have learned in troposphere. In the troposphere, with altitude, what happens? There is a fall in temperature, normal lapse rate. As you go up for, 165 meters of height, 1 degree Celsius, temperature decreases. Yes, Meghavini?
I have a question. When the density becomes less, how does pressure fall? I can't get that part.
Density means less in that sense. The molecules in any particle, the molecules tends to come closer. When temperature is decreasing, things are, any solid, liquids, gases, they are made up of atoms and molecules. So when you are adding heat to either the solid or a liquid or a gas, when heat energy is provided to the molecules in that substance, the molecule starts moving faster. And when they move faster, they scatter. See, due to the speed, they tend to get scattered more. Hence, what happens when they are scattered more, when they are spread more? Okay, now earlier they were occupying a less area. Now they are spread over a more area. Think this way. How can let me tell you? Who can give a good example of scattering? Okay, let's take in a bus, okay, or in a metro compartment. When there are too many people in one compartment, can you what do you see? Means actually it's not related to pressure, but could I make myself clear in this way, that the molecules, when the temperature is less, what the molecules will do is they will come close to each other. Okay, they will. That is why we say when anything is cold, it shrinks. When anything is hot, the heat expands and cold things contract. Have you heard this?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So
It is a lot like if there is a fire, everyone wants to go away, and when there is ice cream, everyone wants to eat.
right, you can say it this way. Just 1 minute, my laptop needs charge. I'll just switch on the charge. Yes. See, absolutely. Now, when suppose those people in the metro compartment, now this get spread over the train. So they are spread over a larger area. Okay, when anything is spread over a larger area, we say the density is decreasing because the molecules are spread, so it becomes lighter. When anything becomes lighter, pressure will automatically. What do you think? You hold a bottle fully filled with water, and you hold a empty bottle. Which one's pressure will you feel more?
The one
Full bottle.
with
Bottle full with
The
water.
one with water.
The one which is filled with water. Okay, so the pressure, the more than it's why? Because it has the water molecules inside it. It is filled with water. You are feeling the pressure more. Okay. Now, on the other hand, now in case of air, the water molecules are usually closer. Have you read when you did solids, liquids, and gases that in solids the molecules are tightly packed? In liquid they are a little
Yes, ma'am.
packed, and in
And then in gas, they are scattered around.
They are all.
absolutely. Now the second bottle, which is empty, it has air. Air molecules are scattered over the place. They are scattered in a much larger area. Hence, what happens is that the bottle having, basically, there is no vacuum anywhere. So the empty bottle or the bottle filled with air, we find it to be lighter. So in the same way, this is the situation. So when temperature increases, density decreases. And and vice versa, when temperature decreases, the molecules come closer, the item shrinks. When there are more molecules in a small area, then automatically what will happen?
I couldn't get.
Did you understand?
Ma'am, can you repeat it once more? Can you repeat what you
I'll repeat it once more. 1 minute. I hope you all can hear me. 1 minute. Let's take, this is a parcel of, some item. Okay. Let's take A. Now it has, or water. It has molecules. This is water. It has some molecules here. Can you all see?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
And heat. What is this heat doing? What is this heat doing? Heat is
It's gonna make the molecules expand or scattered away from each other.
faster. The molecules are,
And they will vibrate faster.
yes, the molecule starts moving faster. And for that, what is happening is some of the molecules, they go outside. Now when they are moving, some of them are going outside this space because of movement. Understood? Now this part has less molecules at present. They have now the molecules, because of the heat, since the heat is adding to their motion. Okay, their kinetic energy is increasing because the heat energy is getting converted to kinetic energy. The molecules are getting scattered. This much is clear. Now,
Yes, ma'am.
now the molecules are spread over a bigger area. Since the molecules are getting scattered, they are occupying a more area. The entire volume is becoming lighter. Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Just the opposite, when the temperature decreases, instead of heat, if there is a fall in temperature, the motion of the molecules, the movement of the molecules will become less. What will happen if the temperature is falling? In that case, the molecules will not move a lot. Rather, they will, since they are moving very less, they will tend to come close to each other. They will, and more and more molecules will tend to come closer to each other. Understood? When they are trying to come close to each other, more and more molecules are, so the item, we say, when it is cold, it shrinks. It shrinks and it becomes heavier. When they are coming close to each other, it shrinks and it becomes heavier. Now it's clear.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Yes, ma'am.
So that is why we say hot things expand and cold things contract. Okay. Now what is happening in this is the same thing with air. When heat is added, now where is this heat coming from? There are two types of heat that you people have learned about. Those are the two main sources. Where did the whiteboard? Yes. Those are the two main sources of heat. Number one, you all know about insolation, which is coming from the sun. This is the main source of heat. And some of the insolation is absorbed by the land surface. Land surface, which it gives out at night, which is known as terrestrial radiation. You have done these two terms in class 7. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
One is
Yes, ma'am.
mainly the heat is coming from the sun. Solar energy is coming to the earth, received by the earth's atmosphere. It is mainly heating the atmosphere also, and some of the solar energy is reaching the earth's surface. Okay, the surface. Now, the earth's surface absorbs some of these heat energy. Now, when at night, when there is no sun, the earth's surface gives out the heat in the form of terrestrial radiation. So at night, the atmosphere is getting heat from the surface in the form of terrestrial radiation. During the day, it is getting heat from both insolation and terrestrial radiation. Is this clear?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Everyone? Okay. Now, when this is very important, when the atmosphere, so one is altitude and one is temperature. Also, in the troposphere, with height, what happens is temperature decreases. Hence, again, density, the air pressure, there is a balanced air pressure. It will also impact air pressure. Now, remember this, children, mainly it is heat that impacts air pressure. A lot of influence on air pressure is maintained by heat, that is temperature, that is insolation. When the air is warm, when the air is hot, when the air is warm, so warm air will be lighter or heavier?
Ma'am, lighter.
Some
Lighter.
Very good. So when the air is hot or warm air is lighter. So warm air is always, because the molecules are more scattered, it has more heat energy. So warm air is always lighter. And this air will tend to move up in the troposphere, in the atmosphere. Warm air will always tend to rise up. While you have done this diagram also.
The cold air will be replacing the warm.
Yes, cold air is heavier. Okay, is cold air is heavier. Hence, cold air will tend to come
Down.
atmosphere. Come down in the atmosphere. If you remember, you did this diagram in class 7. That's this one. Warm air rising.
Yes, ma'am.
This is something you did. And this way, cold air sinking. And this was the Earth's surface.
Ma'am, I think this is called a convection.
Rising and cold air sinking, and this was the Earth's surface. You all did this in class 7. Some of you did it like this, means showing arrows like this. There was a diagram in your book. So if you remember this, so this,
Convection.
yes. So warm air will always be lighter and it will tend to go up, while cold air will tend to sink down and it is heavier in nature. Now we are coming to a very important part of the chapter. So based on this concept, the earth, the entire earth is divided into a few heat zones and pressure zones. You need to know this very well, because if you don't understand this, you will never understand the working of the wind, because this is one more thing you have learned in class 7. Wind blows from high pressure to low pressure or low pressure to high pressure?
High pressure to low pressure.
Low pressure.
High pressure to low pressure regions. So to understand the wind systems of the world, to understand why is some winds bringing monsoon, why are cyclones being created, what is happening in this case, so you need to understand the pressure belts very well. So this is something, wait, share screen, I hope, yes. Atmospheric pressure chapter is visible to you. Please come. Now, the world is divided into a few pressure belts. These are permanent pressure belts of the world. Whenever this has been observed by people who study climate and weather in our main way. This diagram is very, very, very important. This will help you in class 9 also. So these are some of the permanent, don't go for the arrows right away. Permanent pressure belts of the world. So let's observe what are the permanent pressure belts. I hope you people will be able to see where did I keep the duster. Somewhere I kept the duster and I forgot. Where have I kept it? Okay, let me start. Now the earth, let me then share this one. Let me share the whiteboard. It will be easier for me, clear all drawings. Let's take, so what is the earth divided into what is the middlemost latitude of the earth?
Equator.
Equator. The equator is the middlemost latitude of the earth. Now, just around the equator, 5° north of the equator and 5° south of the equator. If you take the zone, 5° north and 5°, when you draw the diagram, writing the values is very, very important. Just around the equator, okay, from 5° north to south, this is a pressure zone of, this is a pressure belt which is known by the name of low pressure, equatorial low pressure belt. Can you give me, just from your understanding of whatever we have done till now, why do you think 5° north and south, approximately, it's never, because we are talking about gas molecules, it will never be exact, but approximately 5° north and south of the equator, why do you think this will be a low pressure zone?
Ma'am, because there is more heat and therefore the pressure
Direct sunlight.
Absolutely, absolutely. If you, remembering a little bit about class 5 when you learned rotation and revolution, you all learned while studying rotation and revolution that the earth has a tilted axis, remember? So the earth has a tilted axis, you all did this, okay, and because of the tilted axis of the earth, the middle part of the earth, that is between the Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn, this is the region which gets the direct sunlight. This is the region which gets direct insolation, the maximum heat from the sun. So actually areas around the equator, okay, this gets a lot of heat. It's, throughout the year, it's never very cold in this region. So because of high temperature, what will we say? How will the pressure be?
It will be
Low pressure.
It will be a low pressure region. It will be a low pressure region, and this belt is called the equatorial low pressure belt. So if the middlemost latitude is 0°, okay, where did I keep the, otherwise drawing becomes very difficult. I don't remember where I kept the, just now I was using it. Oh, here, yes, inside the drawer. Okay, so very simply to remember, if this is the earth, this is the middle part, okay? Remember the earth has a tilted axis for which between Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn, this is the zone which receives maximum insolation from the sun. And you know, around the equator, it is the highest because this region is always more or less hot. So 5 degrees north and south of the equator, if this is 0 degree, this is 5 degree north, this is 5 degree south. This is a zone of low pressure. Okay. Next, very much near the North Pole and the South Pole. Very much close to the North Pole and the South Pole. Okay, you can see this around 75 degrees north and south. So in this region, how do you think will the temperature be?
It will be very cold.
Yes, temperature will be what? Hot or cold?
It will be very cold.
It will be very, very cold. Absolutely. It will be very, very cold. So exactly around the poles. Okay. Let me take it this way. Let me draw the tilted axis of the earth this way. A little bit tilted I am drawing for now. And just around the pole. Oh, no, you stay here like this. Now just around the pole. Around from, you can say from 80 degree to, there are 90 latitudes in each hemisphere. You must remember there's 0 degree to 90 degree, 0 degree to 90 degree. So from around 75, 80 degree to 90 degree, just around the poles, just around North Pole and South Pole, you have the two regions which are extremely cold. Because of this extreme cold, these two regions are having high pressure. So these two regions, they are known as polar high. They are known as polar high pressure belts. These are permanent pressure belts of the earth. Okay, these pressure belts, there are local variations, but in general, after observing and collecting a lot of data for a long span of time, these pressure belts have been determined. So if you just look here, so this is the polar high. You can say from around 80 degrees to 90 degrees. If I write it from 80 degree north to 90, the North Pole is the pole 90 degree north, and again from 80 degree north to 80 degree south to the pole is 90 degree south. Is that clear? So these two regions are known as polar highs. Now let us just look at the characteristics of low pressure and high pressure here. Equatorial low pressure belt, it spans between 5 degrees north to south. The temperature is high throughout the year, so the atmospheric pressure in this area is always low. People staying near the equator, they always have this low pressure region. This low pressure zone is also known as the belt of doldrums. Why? I will tell you. Why? I will tell you when I come to the other one. Another one, that is the last one. Yes. Now, polar high pressure belt, this is the last one. The polar regions are extremely cold throughout the year. In these regions, the atmospheric pressure is always high. Always means in general only it is high. There may be some local variations. So, this region is called the polar high pressure belt. Now, in between, in the middle, we generally expect that in the subpolar region, subtropical region, we know that is equatorial region, then the tropical region, then the polar regions. We are moving as we move towards the north and south pole. Now, In between, there is an inversion. There is a reverse thing working. So let's take the northern hemisphere. As we move a little in the northern hemisphere, you can take from around 20 to 25 degrees. Let's take it from 20 degree north to around 30 degree north. This belt, this will also be warm. We usually expect it to be warm because it is near the tropics. 23.5 degrees, the Tropic of Cancer. So we expect it to be warm. So expected, what should be the pressure here?
It should be normal. Pressure should be low.
Expect the pressure should be low. Absolutely. We expect that in this region, the pressure should be low. But due to other factors, due to another factor being dominant, one factor being the rotation of the earth, and there are several other factors that are working. This region between 20 degree north to 30 degree north approximately, and same for the south, 20 degree south to 30 degree south approximately. This is a zone of high pressure. We call this subtropical high. We call this zone the subtropical high pressure zone. Why tropical? You know Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn. So see, in this diagram, 30 degrees drawn in the middle because it is showing that it is around 30 degrees. So I said you can write it from 25 degree to 35 degree also. That is also absolutely all right. If you write it from 25 degree to 35 degree north in the northern hemisphere, again 25 degree to 35 degree in the southern hemisphere, around the tropics, it is a zone of high pressure which is known as subtropical high pressure belt. It is known as subtropical high pressure belts, not low pressure. Okay.
And will this region, Uttar Pradesh and all fall in this region?
No. This region, Uttar Pradesh and all fall in this region. Actually, for India, some other factors also come. Yes, you can say a little above that. You can say in India, the subtropical high pressure zone is usually around that Punjab, Haryana, Jammu, Kashmir, those areas. You can say that becomes a high pressure zone.
Then Nepal and China and all those parts.
Yes. That comes under subtropical high pressure zone. So this is present in all countries. So this is subtropical high. Then a little above that, not in the poles, you can see in this book, remember, the latitudinal value is not given of the upper and the lower latitudes, but written in the middle, because in this diagram it is showing that it is around this latitude. So around 60 degrees, we say from around around 55 degree north to you can say 65 degree north, 65 to 70 degrees. Though this region is close to the pole, it is supposed to be cold. It should be cold. It should be a low pressure zone. But due to other factors being dominant than temperature, this should be a high pressure zone. But this actually becomes a low pressure zone. And it is known by the name of subpolar low. So there is an alternate pattern found. In the middle, you are actually having the equatorial low. Okay, first in the middle, low pressure around the equator because of heat. Simple, high temperature, low pressure. So middle part is known as equatorial low pressure belt. Next comes subtropical high pressure. So low pressure, high pressure. Subtropical because it is around the tropics. Though it should be low, but it is actually high pressure. So subtropical high pressure. Then there is another belt above it. So low pressure, high pressure, again low pressure. In spite of being close to the poles, you know, it is cold, but other factors being more dominant, this part becomes the subpolar low pressure. Subpolar low pressure. And
Ma'am, could you kindly repeat all the pressure belts like equatorial low pressure belt, polar high pressure belt, then
yes,
all of them? I actually forgot the last one.
so first is equatorial low. So middle part is equatorial low. Then from 25 to 35 north and 25 to 35 south. You can draw it this way, 25 degrees south to 35 degrees south. So north and south, okay, from 25 degree north and 25 degree south, these two are subtropical high pressure belts. Subtropical high. Then from 65 degree north